Maybe I'm missing something on this. I don't know, but I don't understand how you couldn't be a fan of this. I think if you are an avid college football fan and viewer, you understand this is the best thing that could have ever happened to the sport. I'm sure some of you may have or may not have heard the news earlier today that Oregon and Washington, they are officially leaving the Pac-12. Oh man, and you're probably sitting there going, Matt, why are you laughing at this? And that's because I got this update about, 7-8 hours ago? At about 12 p.m. Central Time Zone, I got this update, from ESPN, and you know what it says? Developing story. Oregon and Washington are heading to the Big Ten. Can we clap it up for ESPN? Clap it up. How cute. How cute is that? ESPN, you're slow to the news. And everybody that doesn't watch our channel, everybody that's not a part of our community, you're also going to be slow to the news. I reported this and came out with this video, ironically enough, same title, Developing Story. Oregon and Washington are leaving the Pac-12 7 days ago. If you've been watching the channel, you're also going to remember this video right here where I stated, and this was 3 months ago, that the Pac-12 is done. Made that video 3 months ago. I had a ton of people say, Matt, you're crazy, you're tripping, they'll be just fine, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but just like anything, time will tell, and it told. To go along with that, 2 or 3 months ago as well, what did I say? Hey, Colorado, they're leaving the Pac-12, and well, we saw what happened. And fast forward in time to our current date, here we are. Another prediction by your boy Matt, proven right. And the funny thing about this is with the Colorado one, everybody's like, oh yeah, well Matt, he probably just guessed and got right. It was a crazy coincidence. And now this one happened, where yet again, I called this out 7 days ago. And I do understand you're still going to have some people out there, maybe even you watching this, you're sitting there saying, okay, well he's just on a good streak right now. He's just getting really lucky. Here's my counter argument to that, and it's not even an argument. I'm just going to tell you how it is. No, I'm not getting lucky and I'm not having lucky guesses because I'm not guessing at all. I don't know if y'all think I'm trolling when I say this, but when I say my sources have told me this information, I don't mean some random dude on Twitter or Reddit. I'm talking about some legit sources that are in the higher ups of college football. I can't tell you who they are, but let me put it this way. My sources make a phone call to me before they make the phone call to ESPN. Without giving you too much information, and maybe you can put 2 and 2 together here, I know people that are in all these meetings. I'm going to say that again. I don't know people in the meetings, but I know people that know people in the meetings. And these are the people, more times than not, that ESPN gets their information from, but I just get it first. But getting that out the way, Matt tooting his own horn for a little bit, let's get down to the business because there's a lot more to this than what you guys think. There's way more to this. And oh yeah, Oregon and Washington, they're joining the Big Ten. It's not going to be sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies just like that. The Big Ten is currently now sitting at a whopping 18 members. The largest in college football history, and they must decide whether to expand even further because it's being contemplated that they might possibly try to go to 20 teams. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but some early speculation is that they could be going after Stanford, California, or some other ACC teams. We're not here to talk about that, but it's being stated they're considering it. Interesting to say the least, and also this is something that caught my attention. Oregon and Washington will not immediately receive full shares in the Big Ten's new media rights deal with Fox, CBS, and NBC. So I guess you'd say they're not going to get all of the benefits of being a Big Ten member right from the jump. But still, at the end of the day, like it says right here, they're still going to make more money than they would have if they would have remained in the Pac-12. And plus, going to the Big Ten, this is a long-term investment. This isn't a short-term investment. If you are a Power 5 college football program, there's only 2 conferences you want to be a part of, the SEC and Big Ten. Who cares if you're going to take a minor pay cut at the beginning? You want to be in these conferences for the long run. They ain't going anywhere anytime soon. That's some of the newest of new information that I did want to share with y'all that not too many people are talking about. Due to me already talking about the situation for the past 5, 6, 7 days, that's all there is to it. I'm not going to talk about all the other minor details because we've already spoken about that. If you want to hear me talk about it, go into full depth, go watch some of the previous videos, but I'm not going to do that in this one because that's not fair to our loyal community and just loyal people that watch every single day that keep up with this news. Here's what we're going to talk about next. Just like this comment says right here, so what's the SEC going to do? And also, what are the other Pac-12 schools going to do? You already know your boy Matt is from the Southeast, and this is where mainly all my great sources are from. And I was making a bunch of phone calls today, and What I heard, it may shock some of y'all, but the SEC, they're not worried. It doesn't even seem like the SEC is going to try to act on this all too much, and they're not going to rush into anything. Whereas it really seemed like the Big Ten within the past 10 days, they rushed into this. You're not going to see that with the SEC, at least not right now. That may change. Obviously, stay tuned. I'll keep you guys up to date. But for right now, SEC is not going to do anything. You got to understand and realize this, and I was talking to one of my sources about this a couple hours ago. The SEC isn't just going to add teams to add teams. They want to add teams that have a big brand and can compete with your LSUs, now your Tennessees, Alabama, Georgias, and eventually your Texas and Oklahomas of the world. What I'm trying to say is they're not going to add a team on the caliber of Missouri, and I mean that in the most respectful way possible. And I think I know exactly where I'm about to go with this. The only two teams that would even make sense for the SEC currently is Clemson and Florida State. And why more than likely I don't see that happening at least in the next couple of weeks is because of the granted rights deal. To dumb this down, and we gotta get a move on, it's not as easy for these ACC teams to leave as easy as it was for these Pac-12 teams to leave. So to answer that question, I've had a lot of people ask me that on Twitter and Instagram today. I don't think you're going to hear anything from the SEC anytime soon. But check this out. I found this interesting. This was a statement from Washington State. Quote unquote, "We're disappointed with the recent decisions of some of our Pac-12 peers. While we had hoped that our membership would remain together, this outcome was always a possibility. And we have been working diligently to determine what is next for Washington State athletics. We prepared for numerous scenarios, including our current situation. With exceptional student athletes, a strong Cougar tradition, and incredible support from our fans, donors, and alumni, we would chart the best path forward together." When I read that, it got me thinking, yeah, that kind of sucks. Everyone in the Pac-12, what is it now? I don't even know. Is it like 4 or 5 teams? I think it's only 4 now. What are they going to do? It's a definition of being left out to dry. That's where they are. They have nowhere to go. I'll probably make a video talking about the Pac-12 and what's next for them tomorrow, but check out this tweet. And I've at least seen a couple thousand tweets of people saying crap like this. All day long, all you see people saying, "Oh, this is terrible for college football. This is ruining tradition," and blah, 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 blah. But I'm just going to single out one tweet right here because I just found it. "This is a uniformly horrible event for college sports. There is nothing good about it, and it screams out for federal regulation." I don't know who this person is, but for everyone saying this is a terrible move and this is ruining the sport, shut up. If you don't see this from my perspective, I think you're a straight up loser and you don't like competition. Take away the whole tradition thing and, oh yeah, we're going to miss some memories of some rival games. Take that away. Because honestly, who cares about one rival game a year? Look at this from my perspective. We're now going to have USC playing Michigan in a 17-degree weather snowy game. We are now going to have the top dogs of college football playing against one another on a regular basis. This is awesome because the Big Ten has been pathetic the past couple of years outside of Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. And now we're going to have so many good teams in the Big Ten, so many good teams in the SEC. It's just insanely great. This is the best thing that has ever happened in college sports. I stated this over a year ago. I said in about 4 or 6 years, it's going to be 2 conferences, the Big Ten and SEC, and it also looks like I'm going to be right on that as well. I can't resonate with the people that are going, "Oh man, this is awful for sports, man. What does the world come to? What are we doing in college football?" And just, oh my gosh, shut up. I guarantee you, these are the same people that are complaining on the weekends that the Pac-12 isn't competitive and there's no competitive games on a certain Saturday. These are the same people that are crying and stating that USC doesn't have to play any competition in the Pac-12. And now when we put these big teams into one big conference, everybody starts crying about that. Make up your mind. I can't speak for you. Let me know your thoughts down below, but I love everything about this. On the flip side, there is one argument that I will empathize and sympathize with, and that is I do feel bad for the Oregon State, Washington State, California, and Stanford fans. They're left out to dry, but at the end of the day, California and Stanford, who cares? I mean, they just got a few football fans, and Oregon State, yeah, they got some. And Washington State, out of those 4 schools, they do have a really strong fan base. I don't care if they have 1 fan or 1 million, I still feel bad for them because it is an awful situation from that standpoint of view. But I'm not going to lie, from our standpoint of view, the consumer, from an entertainment standpoint, this is the best thing that's ever happened in college football, and you can't change my mind. The only thing that would make this better is if somehow, some way, Florida State and Clemson, they go to the SEC or the Big Ten. This is great, man. This is great. I'm loving every single second of it, and maybe that's just the super competitive person in me. I love competition. I love competition in my everyday life. I love it in college football. I love it in every aspect of my life. And in matter of fact, what has been the biggest drawback from college football that NFL fans state? Well, college football is not very competitive. Well, dang, man, this is the one step forward to curing that. Because I want you to think about this. Instead of looking at Ohio State's and Michigan's schedule every single year and going, okay, they got 2 tough games. Well, now it looks like they may have 5 tough games. Maybe I'm missing something on this. I don't know, but I don't understand how you couldn't be a fan of this. I think if you are an avid college football fan and viewer, you understand this is the best thing that could have ever happened to the sport. And oh yeah, by the way, you got people saying stuff like this. Money ruins it all, and I think that's ironic as well because what do I state on the channel? Money runs the world. The quicker you realize that, I guarantee you, your perspective on everything and anything, it'll change. There's a lot more I could say, but I gotta make a couple more phone calls, a couple more texts, because I gotta figure out what in the crap's going on with the Big 12, SEC, just some more stuff. Let me know your thoughts down below. But,